Howdy guys, Radio Magic here. I hope you are all having a fantastic morning, day, afternoon or evening, wherever you are and whatever you're up to. Today we are back playing with our series on the channel with how viable is Control in the historic meta, and we're going to start off with Azorius Control. New set, that means a whole load of new control lists, and we actually got a load of new tools. So we're starting with Azorius, arguably one of the more powerful of the control lists, and we're going to stick in 2-color in the hope that we won't necessarily get color screwed. So for those of you that don't want to listen to a deck tech, there are a load of new cards, so the deck tech might be a little bit lengthy. Go down into the description below and check out the timestamps. There'll be what we played against, but not the results of them games. So feel free to go down there, spoiler free, and check them out. Maybe you just want to skip over the deck tech at the moment. But Azorius Control, really exciting. One of my favorite control lists. Obviously, Jeskai has a special place in my heart for people who watch the channel semi-frequently. But Azorius Control is arguably the strongest, and we got a load of new cards, a ton of new things to play with, and I kind of want to jump into the deck tech and just get on with it. So we got tons and tons of bits. Just before we jump into that though, just a little disclaimer, I've obviously taken a bit more time off. For people who watch the channel semi-frequently, you'll know that obviously I haven't posted a video in like over a month, which has been, oh no, really disappointing. But I just want to let you know, like, I've been playing a few different games. Still been playing Magic. I've been drafting the new set a load recently, which has been really fun. But I've taken a little bit of time off from recording. It's been fun to play Magic on the side, but I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft recently. I've picked it up for the first time like 3 weeks ago, and from anyone who knows anything about World of Warcraft or has played it before, you know it is quite time intensive, to say the least. So yeah, that has eaten a lot of my time, and between that I've also been playing Total War Warhammer 2 and Total War Warhammer 1 for that matter. So that has been very time intensive as well. For anyone who knows anything about them two games, learning them takes a lot of time, especially for someone who's never picked them up before. And WoW especially, because yeah, that's very overwhelming to say the least. But yeah, so let's move on to the deck tech and back to our Magic tool. Trust me, if you're here just for Magic, this will be a strictly Magic video, but just thought I'd let you know what I've been doing in my time, and if you guys maybe want to see content like that in the future or different games, then remember to drop that down into the comments. All feedback, constructive criticism as well, all is welcome. Yeah, just same old stuff. But deck tech time, no more wasting time. So on the 2-drop slot, we have Baffling End as our removal spell. We're playing this instead of Seal Away and instead of Raven's Form as well. So just disclosure, there was 2 different decks I built. The first deck I recorded a little bit with it, and I found it was just really poor overall. It was a little bit too cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this deck tech, and then I'm going to explain the decisions I made and the changes at the end of the deck tech. So if you want to hear about that, stay tuned as well. So Baffling End is our removal spell of choice. When it ETBs, exile target creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or less, and then when it leaves the battlefield, your opponent gets a 3/3 dinosaur creature token with trample. Most of the time the dinosaur is going to be worse than the creature that we exiled, so even if our opponent removes the Baffling End, it's all good. That's one of the reasons we're running this above Seal Away. Also, we want to be able to take out creatures that don't necessarily need to attack or tap to be threatening, and Baffling End is a really good answer to that. 4 Sensors as early counterspell, can be cycled in the late games, has some really good versatility. Most control lists wouldn't be caught dead without this card. We're then running 2 Timely Reinforcements as some passive life gain, because we've changed up our counterspell, which we'll go into in a minute. But some people might not have seen Timely Reinforcements before. When I made the first list, this was in the board, and it's been moved over to the main. 3 mana sorcery. If an opponent has less life than you, you gain 6 life, and if you control fewer creatures than an opponent, create 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. So really good at buffering our life total and chump blocking as long as our opponent's creatures don't have trample, and it can protect our important planeswalkers at the same time. We're then playing Saw It Coming as one of our first new cards from Kaldheim, which is I'm really excited to play with. So for those of you that don't know, I'll really quickly explain the Foretell mechanic. So Foretell, on your turn, you may pay 2 to exile this card from your hand face down, and then you may cast it on a later turn for its Foretell cost. So this is a 3 mana counterspell, which is unexciting, or we can spend 2 mana and then to exile it into a separate pile, and then later on we get to spend 1 blue and 1 to counter target spell. For anyone who plays modern or other older formats of Magic, you'll know that counterspell is a thing. 2 blue counter target spell, which is a banned card. It's that powerful. This is a counterspell that's not a counter spell. We have to pay 4 mana for it over 2 turns. But if we can find a situation where we can tuck this away with Foretell and let it sit there for a little bit, then this turns into a really, really powerful counter spell that, when combined with Teferi, for example, untap in your end step, have a Saw It Coming open, is really, really good. And it's making your opponent play around. Normally, Absorb is what they have to play around, but they now have to play around a 2 mana counter spell at the same time. So we're going to see how Saw It Come In goes. I don't know if it's going to be better or worse than Absorb. It's one of the reasons we're running Timely Reinforcements for some passive life game. Then, arguably the most exciting card in the entire list, and one of the reasons I was most hyped about this set, bar one other card which we'll go on to as well. Doomskar. Oh my god, what Wizards of the Coast, what are you doing? I feel like this was completely necessary. A turn 3 board wipe though in Historic. Wow, like I feel like this is just a straight up replacement for Shatter the Sky. I've played with this a little bit and I have just been utterly impressed. This is just blown Shatter the Sky out of the water. The regeneration on creatures is just not relevant. 2 mana, tuck this away on turn 2, and then turn 3 board wipe. I feel like this is what Control needs to compete against some of these mid-range lists and some of the aggro lists. I feel like Shatter the Sky is just a little bit too slow. Magic's just got more and more powerful as time's gone on, and a 4 mana board wipe is just too slow now. So yeah, Doomskar, not much more to be said on it. Just a 5 mana board wipe that can be cast on turn 3 for its Foretell cost is really, really good. The only time you're getting punished for playing a Doomskar is if you draw it on turn 4. And you need it on that turn. So it is going to come up, but you pair that one bad side along the 4 or 5 bad sides that Shatter the Sky has, then I think Doomskar is coming out on top. But only time will tell. So we will play with it a little bit and see how it gets on. Nico Aris, a 3 mana planeswalker with X in its casting cost. When it ETBs, create X shard tokens. A shard token is something that can be, it's a token enchantment shard. You can see it on the screen right now. 2 mana, sacrifice this enchantment, scry 1, then draw a card. So okay, +1 up to 1 target creature you control can't be blocked this turn, and then whenever that creature deals damage this turn, return it to his owner's hand. We're basically not using this. This is just to keep Nico's loyalty high. -1, Nico deals 2 damage to target tapped creature for each card you've drawn this turn, so shards can work with that, and -1 to create a shard token. So this is my hot take on Nico. I hated them when it was first released. I thought this Planeswalker is underpowered, and I think it's trying to make up for Teferi Time Raveler. And yeah, I didn't like them overall. I thought that the Planeswalker was quite weak. Now I have played with them, this Planeswalker is really strong. In my opinion, this Planeswalker is quite powerful. I think it comes down and say you cast it for X equals 2. Comes down, makes 2 shards, you -1, make another shard. Your opponent kills them. Well, that's 3 cards you've got there. And it's not only tap 2, sacrifice to draw a card, it's scry 1, draw a card, which I think is really does make the difference on this. If it was pay 2, sacrifice this enchantment, draw a card, I don't know if it'd be as powerful. But the ability to be able to come down, and we do use the removal spell on it sometimes, but the ability to come down and make a load of shards, if your opponent does not have a counter spell to them, then this is going to come down on turn 5, 6, 7, 8 and make a ton of shards. And if you are not in imminent threat of dying straight away, Nico is going to pull this around for you. So overall, I didn't really like them moving into spoiler season and when the set was released, but after playing with Nico, like, oh my, like I still like all the other Planeswalkers and that, but Nico has been one of my favorite Planeswalkers for a little bit. I think this is really strong. I've been playing with it a little bit. I don't know if it's going to continue to be strong because obviously only time will tell. I'm still in the initial spoiler season, just come out spoiler season hype around the new cards, so maybe Nico will just fall into the background. But I feel like Wizards of the Coast did a good job with this Planeswalker. I feel like not too powerful, but definitely powerful enough. They feel overall really good. But yeah, one of the new cards, enough said on Nico. 4 mana cast out. We play this in all of our Azorius lists, really good. 4 mana, exile target non-land permanent, really good at flash speed. Or you can cycle it for 1. No search Razcanter in this list to take advantage of the filling the graveyard, but still cast out's really good. Behold the Multiverse, our 2-mana Glimmer of Genius. You can see how different Magic is changing as time goes on. Glimmer was scry 2, draw 2, gain 2 energy. No one cared about the gain 2 energy. This is scry 2, draw 2, but we have the ability to be able to foretell it. And unlike Doomscar, actually no, Doomscar doesn't count for this, but Saw It Coming and some other foretell cards, normally you pay a little bit extra to foretell and then casting cost. For example, Behold the Multiverse might be a 4-mana draw scry 2, draw 2, and then its foretell cost is 3 mana, for example. So you're paying a little bit extra, 1 or 2 mana, but this is different. Like Doomscar, you're paying the same amount of mana, you're just paying it over 2 turns. So we don't know how good Behold the Multiverse is going to be. I put some in to give it a try. A lot of this video is going to be about trying different things and seeing how the cards interact with each other and giving you guys an idea of the direction Control could head in the future and the way the different cards interact. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and let me know how you think these cards get on. I'm hoping Behold the Multiverse is going to be good, but we don't know, so we will see. And there were some other reasons we're keeping in Behold as well, which I'll go over in a minute. We've dropped down, unfortunately. No, we've dropped down from 4-Vs to 2-Vs. This is mainly because Nico is a thing now, so I don't really feel the need to run 4-Vs. I think Nico is somewhat better than Teferi with initial card advantage, because Teferi has to sit out to generate card advantage. I think overall, I think Teferi's a better Planeswalker because of the ability to be able to tuck anything. The emblem is a you win the game emblem, and a +1 is draw a card, untap lands. We know what the Teferi shenanigans does, but I think Nico just coming down and generating so much raw card advantage straight away is just so strong. But we're going to drop on the Teferis to give another Planeswalker a shot at the moment. You'll also notice we're not playing Narset as well, and that's mainly because Nico has taken Narset slot. We're then running 4 Shark Typhoons, because where would an Azorius Control list would be without his 4 Shark Typhoons? Really powerful 2-for-1 spell. A lot of the time, going to be able to kill a creature. Your opponent, then it's either going to trade for another creature, or your opponent's going to have to remove it, and you got a card out of it because you cycled it. And then we're running, like, I feel like I want more Starnhelm Unleashed. I feel like this is I don't know what to think about this card, so I played with it a little bit. So 4 mana, sorcery, create a 4/4 white angel warrior creature token with flying and vigilance. If this spell was foretold, create X of them instead. So we can pay 2, exile this, and then, so if we're making 1 angel, we're spending 1 more mana. That's how that works. So we're not going to be paying, a lot of the time, we're not going to be paying to make 1 angel. Though we could put this away on turn 2 and turn 3 make an angel. This is mainly one of our alternate win conditions. So we have a win condition in the form of Castle Ardenvale, a win condition in the form of Teferi, a win condition in the form of Shark Typhoon, and of our Starnhelm as well. So I really, really like this card, but I don't know if I like it so much because it's a one-of and it only comes up when you feel like you need it. But I feel like every time I have this card in my hand, it always feels like it's a solid option as to something I can do. I'm happy to cast this for 3 mana sometimes and make a 4/4. I'm happy to cast this for 4 mana and make a 4/4. Or I'm happy to cast this for 10 mana and make 6 4/4 flyers, which is just going to win the game if your opponent doesn't have a board wipe. I feel like this is relevant in most games, and it's a really fast way to just close the door. Say you're sitting on like 6 life against mono red or goblins or something, and you're like, I'm out of cards, I've only got this card in hand. I'm going to cast this and just make like 6 4/4s or 5 4/4s, and I'm just going to kill you on the next turn. So find an answer, and it's not like your opponent can kill you through combat at that point unless they have an unblockable for it. So yeah, I don't know if we need 2 or 3 of these, I'm not sure. In terms of the mana basis, we're running same old stuff, 3 castles, 3 Castle Ardenvales, 2 Castle Vantresses. We're running some basics to make sure that they enter untapped as much as possible, irrigated farmland for some cycling, shock lands, check lands, and we're running 2 Field of Ruins as the first time we've put Field of Ruin in Azorius, because I'm not sure what to expect, and I feel like from the new format, I mean the new meta, so I'm hoping Field of Ruin is going to give us the biggest sort of catch-all answer to things that's happening. There's a lot of good castles going around and search Rescanters. In terms of the sideboard, we've lowered down on the amount of Grafdigger's Cages. We're still playing some because I don't know how predominant decks are that want to play and that Grafdigger's Cage hurts. I assume between like all of the graveyard list, goblins, collected company list, Grafdigger's Cage is going to be somewhat good. And against Jund Sacrifice, Rakdos Sacrifice, them sort of things, I feel like Grafdigger's Cage and Rest in Peace are both going to shine. I've elected to play 2 Rest in Pieces above 1 Grafdigger's Cage because when we play against Rakdos, they have a harder time answering Rest in Peace than they do Grafdigger's Cage. So just for that reason. A bit of low mana interaction with Seal Away, so this is coming in when we just want more interaction on the early drop slots. Red and green are arguably two of the most played colours in Magic, or especially in some of my experiences, so Aethergust is a really good answer to them. And we normally want this 2 mana. It's not tempo because you're putting the card back on top of the library, so you are actually 1-for-1 trading, but I feel like red or green are normally the matchups where you just need to survive. This is good against like Jund, Rakdos, Gruul. I don't need to go through every color combination that has red or green in it, but most decks have red or green in them, he says, as we're playing an Azorius list. Two Tails End, as obviously this is just replacing our Disdainful Stroke. We'll see how this gets on in a meta, the new meta, but we know that at the end of the last meta, Tails End was far better than Disdainful Stroke. Let's see if that continues. Dovin's End is our uncounterable counterspell. 3 Narsets, as I don't know how predominant 4-color nonsense Uro is going to be, so Narsets are in there for that. And we're running 1 Shatter the Sky when we need our 5th board wipe, since Shatter's still a really good card. This actually just be a Wrath of God. I don't know what I'm playing at. This should be Wrath of God. I went through the games and played Shatter the Sky. Only as I'm reading this now have I realised that Shatter's there. Wait, if you're playing the list, play Wrath of God instead of this list, and I will actually update that as well when we go into it. The games will show Shatter the Sky, but this should be a Wrath of God, definitely. Yeah, so that is the list. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck tech. It was kind of a long one, but we have so many different cards to talk about. So a lot of the cards, just before we move in, so Saw It Coming, Behold the Multiverse, Doomscar, and Starnheim. We were originally running Nico Defies Destiny, which I put on the screen right now, which is a saga that pays off for playing Foretell cards. This was the original variation I played, and I played Raven's Form as well in there. So we had quite a few Foretell cards. We weren't running Behold the Multiverse, but we were running quite a few number of Raven's Forms. I think it was like 3. And the ability to be able to play your Doomscar, play your Saw It Coming, play your Raven's Form, and then gain some life and get them cards back, I felt was really, really strong, and the extra mana advantage as well really felt good. It meant you could foretell something for free on the second chapter on turn 4, which was really good, in my opinion. It allowed you to like foretell, Behold the Multiverse, and then cast it on your opponent's turn or something, as well as holding up Saw It Coming on turn 2. But I found ultimately that Nico Defies Destiny just wasn't good enough to really make it into the list. I feel like, although I want to experiment with some of the new cards like Saw It Coming and Behold the Multiverse, and we need to make it semi-competitive to some element, and I feel like the enchantment just isn't quite there. That being said, I'm definitely going to make an Azorius Control / Foretell list that focuses more heavily on the Foretell mechanic, and yeah, just going over the top with that. But as it goes at the moment, we're going to stick quite close to home since we're not sure on the meta, and we're going to make the best deck we possibly can. So outside of the Shatter the Sky being in the board, which should be a Wrath of God, please forgive me on that. So yeah, that was the original list. We ran Nico's Defies Destiny with Raven's Form as well, and I think I ran a few of the bounce spells as well that has Foretell. But I felt ultimately let's not play it too cute, because there's some matchups where Nico Defies Destiny just doesn't do anything. You haven't got anything in Foretell, so that's why I've changed it up a little bit. But it could just be the answer that, you know what, out of the new set, you only want the Doomscar. That Saw It Coming just not as good as Absorb, and Behold the Multiverse is just not necessary. You play Narsets instead, for example. Not sure, but that is how it goes. Like I said, this is Control list. This is Azorius Control. I hope you guys, I know the deck tech was really long, but I hope you guys enjoyed the deck tech, got something out of it, and yeah, we'll move on to some games, and I will shut up, and I'll catch you again at the end with a wrap up. Okay, so we are back with some Azorius Control in Historic, and my god, has it been a long time since the last upload. So let's get hyped for this, and yeah, this looks like a really reasonable hand. We're probably just going to start with the Irrigate Farmland, and then maybe a turn 2 Behold the Multiverse. I don't know, we'll see how things go, but we're going to keep this. We are only in silver and our opponent's in bronze, so it might not be the most accurate representation of competitive play, but maybe it will still give you guys an idea of how the deck feels, how the cards interact with each other, since it's always exciting getting a load of new cards. Are we going to Baffling End the Llanowar Elves? I think not. I think we're going to Baffling End the thing that they play with the Llanowar Elves. Maybe we'll regret that. Is this a deck where we want to dig for a board wipe? with Behold the Multiverse, or do we want to Saw It Coming? I found this a lot with the foretell mechanic. It adds so much to the list. Since there's multiple things we could do here, we could cycle Shark Typhoon for no value. Could tuck this away, or get rid of the land or Elves. Could even cycle a land or play this as a tap land just to get it out there. Very, very, it needs to be thought out, the plays. I don't know what we're going to do. So it's likely that our opponent does something next turn with their Lana or Elves, which means we're probably going to have to Baffling End, which means it's more likely we're going to be using whatever we foretell on turn 4 instead. So probably Behold the Multiverse. Gives us an opportunity to like dig for like a Doomscar and then foretell the Doomscar on turn 4. But yeah, against Gruul. So maybe like a Gruul Spellbreaker or something, Pelt Collector. Okay, so probably going to have to take that Robber away. So just get a tap land down, take that Robber. Do we take the Pelt Collector? The Pelt Collector represents more damage, I guess, as time goes on. The Robber's taking cards off of us, but a lot of our cards aren't relevant against us. So probably just take the Pelt Collector here. And then next turn we've always got the option to cycle Shark Typhoon to trade with the Robber, providing our opponent doesn't have an Embercleave, put enough power into play for that. Ooh. So taking quite a beating here. So yeah, probably just gonna, that's gonna be the plan, cycle the Shark Typhoon. I think this is one of them matchups where you really need your Doomscar. Our opponent could very easily have a Embercleave here. Unfortunately, we're in a position where we can't really... Yeah, there's a pause. I feel like this is Embercleave time. Unfortunately, we're in a position where we can't really play around Embercleave, so we are just going to lose to it. Not really much we could do. I mean, could have taken away the Llanowar Elves. It would have slowed our opponent down just a little bit, since we didn't end up using Behold the Multiverse. Yep. Unfortunately, like I said, can't play around that, so we are just going to lose to Embercleave here. I mean, we could top deck a Doomscar and our opponent could have no hasters in hand. Nope, yep, just going to scoop it up there. So that's kind of how it normally goes against Gruul. Hopefully we can do something about that though. So Aether Gust is going to be really good in this matchup. I think we want the extra Shatter and the Seal away just for interaction. What do we not want? I feel like Saw It Coming, not as many. Is this a matchup where we just don't want Behold? Maybe Nico, actually. I think they're not going to be as good in this matchup. Maybe like Sensors, since Llanowar Elves is a thing. Just cut like that. And then we've got all of our early game interaction, more stuff. And brought in our extra board wipe. I kind of like Starhelm. Starheim Unleashed. Starnheim Unleashed. Just as a way to close the game quite quickly. 5 mana, 2/4/4 Angels. Going to be quite good blockers. Maybe not so much against Embercleave, but hopefully we have our Saw It Coming. Maybe we just want to cut the Sensors and keep in the Saw It Comings. Since we're late game, we'd rather just have the insurance of having a pretty hard counter spell. Guess let's run it like that. Okay, so game 2 against Gruul Aggro, like mid-range, Gruul Embercleave. We're on Azorius Control. And this is a hand where we're excited to see how our Doomscars are going to do. Unfortunately, no, this is fine. The mana's all fine. So, yeah, turn 2 Foretell, and then turn 3 Doomscar, and we get to do it again. So, we'll see how a turn 3 board wipe fares against Shatter the Sky. So, let's keep this. I'll tell you what, though, I'm really excited to be back playing with the cards. Like I said, took a little bit of time out, which is all fine. Been playing some new bits, World of Warcraft. Picked that up recently. Losing a little bit of our life to it. And other bits as well. Total War's been fun. But yeah, new cards. I followed spoiler season quite heavily, and I was enjoying Control in the last format, though it may not have been the strongest list. So it's exciting to see what the new tools have to offer. Originally, I wasn't sure what to think of Nico, but I think they're going to be impressive overall. I think the flexibility of being able to kill something. I think we are just going to Doomscar here. Just get our 3 for 1. Slow our opponent down on mana. If our opponent goes hasty 2-power creature, that's where Nico comes in. Fortunately, hasty 3-power creature. Just going to cast out this, yeah. I think just makes sense to cast that out. Then next turn we're in a position where we could Nico plus foretell this. And obviously we have to do this now because Gruul Spellbreaker has hexproof in their turn. It does feel good though. I enjoy playing against the creature matchups like this. I like playing against aggro. Questing Beast. Maybe we'll just cast out in the Questing Beast as well, since I don't really want to play a Nico into a Questing Beast. Questing Beast is so devastating. So yeah. Okay, we are running a little bit low on cards. Hopefully they give us enough time that Nico can take over. We might be just looking at a Nico for X equals 1 here. Then again, like I said, Nico can pick this up. I think we're just on the cycle irrigated farmland plan. We could have done this now actually. So if we hit another Doomscar, Behold the Multiverse, or a counterspell, we could have foretold it. But I think what the plan is to, if our opponent extends more into the board, we can Doomscar. If they don't, then we get to Nico shoot the Brawler next turn. Oh. This thing about Gruul. It just punches so hard out of nowhere. I mean, they had 1 creature on board and now they're attacking for, what, 7? So let's cycle this. Opponent is down to 1 card in hand. So let's Nico for 1 and hope our opponent doesn't have a Questing Beast. And we'll make another shard as well. Okay, so now we're in a position where I think we're good. Let's sack 1 shard now. Oh, I don't know if we should have kept that actually. Yeah, let's pass. I don't know if we should have kept Seal Away. It doesn't answer Questing Beast and it doesn't answer Gruul Spellbreaker. Llanowar Elves is fine. I think we're going to sack shards here instead of activate Castle Ardenvale. Vantress I don't think we need. I think we need Teferi. We need removal spells. More counter spells. We did bring in our... saw it coming. Doomscar's not an instant speed answer to something. Our opponent has a lot of hasty threats. Another Saw It Coming's great. So we've got to tick up. So probably just going to pass the turn here, activate Castle Ardenvale and kill this Llanowar Elves. If they use their Hashep Oasis, then we have the Seal Away. Okay, Mammoth. Doesn't have Trample. Can always Seal Away it. Opponent can't attack the Llanowar Elves. I think we're gonna Vantress. Bottom them lands. That's a good one. I think we're going to put it away. If we can hold out one turn, then that's going to be excellent for next turn. So yeah, we've got our shard. We've got quite a few answers to our opponent's got. We can stop some hasty, hexproof, non-seal-awayable threat. So yeah, let's seal away the Mammoth and just fall to 4, I think. And then we'll take our 1. Our opponent could have like triple stomp. Yep. Yeah, I think it's fine. We're gonna have tons of angels. I guess we'd like rather activate shard instead. Leave up for saw it coming. Aethergust is a pretty good answer as well. So how many angels can we make? We can make 1, 2, 3, 4. We can make 4 angels, but we wouldn't get to hold up anything. So we can make 3 angels and get to hold up saw it coming. 3 angels has got to be enough. Sweet. These angels do have vigilance as well. So this is going to be a 2-turn clock. I think that's fine. We've got an angel to block each thing. And we can stop Embercleaves. Let's see. This looks like an Embercleave. But fortunately, we obviously have the counterspell. Even if we didn't have the counterspell, it wouldn't be that devastating here. Our opponent's essentially trading in their board. This is one of their matchups, though, that it's interesting to see how Saw It Coming is different to Absorb. Since I feel I'd be a lot more comfortable if I had Absorb in hand rather than Saw It Coming. But that's why we're playing these lists, the different cards. I feel like this might just be strictly worse than Absorb. I think, like I said in the introduction, that I traded this out for Absorb because I originally had Nico Defies Destiny in the list that cares about Foretell cards. But I took out the Destiny, it felt a little bit too cute. So we ended up leaving in Saw It Coming just to see how it plays. But maybe that's where Time New Reinforcements is doing Absorb's job. But yeah, I think in terms of sideboarding, I was just rambling on a little bit. I think we're going to just run it back, maybe. Nothing too much to change. Maybe there's an argument we want Censor instead of Saw It Coming. But I think it's fine. So this is a hand that looks really good. But all hands with 1 land normally looks really good. So if we had our second land, maybe it'd be more of a discussion. But I think we have to mulligan this. This hand looks a lot better. Just going to put that cast down. Put the seal away on the bottom. Cast out's an answer to like an Embercleave or something. But yeah, we get to turn 2 Doomscar, turn 3 cast it. I think this exact position we're in right now is exactly one of the reasons why Doomscar is going to be so good, is when you're on the draw against an aggro list and they come out of the gates. Yeah, let's say they go Burning Tree into Burning Tree here into something else. Okay, our opponent didn't. That position, I think Shatter the Sky would just be too slow, or you'd have to use additional resources to take out. Is opponent stuck on mana? You'd have to use additional resources to answer some things on the board just so you could survive a hit. Then you'd have to tap down to Shatter the Sky, and then your opponent would kill you like a Questing Beast. Do we just get our 2-for-1 here, or do we just sacrifice Nico? Do we play a Baffling End, just take away the Mammoth? Could just get our 2-for-1. I think I like Baffling Ending the Mammoth and holding off on the Doomscar. Really need to hit another land. We did keep a 3-land hand. I probably should have, yeah, that was a mistake. I probably should have played the island first, then baffling ended, so we could have cycled the cast out. Since I think cast out is something that we'd much rather have a shot at a land here. Yeah, I think that might actually be really poor if we don't draw land. Okay, we did draw land, and I think I am happy to just Doomscar here. This could be a position where we just cast this to make a 4/4. And it's a 1/1. We just cast out in the Legion War Boss, or make a 4/4. So if we cast out the Legion War Boss, they're left with a 1/1, they get to play something else. If we make a 4/4, they still get to attack and deal us 1. We sort of block off. No, then they're in Embercleave range anyway next turn, aren't they? They just play a land, but I guess an Embercleave on a 1/1 is not as impressive. Don't want to leave them in a position where they can make a goblin, attack with everyone, mentor onto something, and then Embercleave and take down our angel. Okay, so yeah, only taking 4 here. So only taking 4. Are we just taking out the token here, or are we taking out... I think I like Nico for 1 and just shoot the goblin. And then we've got cast out for the Embercleave. If our opponent plays something... and equipped, I guess like everything in that list has haste. Maybe it's like a Burning Tree Emissary, then we can cast out. Unfortunately, being stuck on lands here is going to hurt a little bit, so we're just going to Nico. A little bit of the flexibility of Nico coming in here. So here, yeah, this is exactly kind of what we wanted to see. Oof. Tis unfortunate. Are we just passing turn here? Wait for our opponent to attack? Take the Volcanic Brawler instead of the Embercleave. We've always got Teferi to tuck Embercleave later on. The reason we're not casting out in our turn is just so if our opponent plays a hasty threat. Yeah, we have to cast out the Brawler still. We lose Nico here though. Yeah, I think we just needed 1 more land really. Nico goes down. Yeah, I mean they can just equip Embercleave next turn and it's GG. Yeah, I think not drawing a land like really needed to. Maybe cycling that cast out earlier really did us in, but then we did really need the cast out. I don't think there's any way to save us. What could we dig for? Seal Away doesn't do it. I think we already put Seal Away to the bottom as well, maybe. Yeah. Shark Typhoon for 2, can't block it. Yeah. Make a 4/4. Our opponent can equip this, make it 5 though. Trample over for 1 and then deal additional 5. I guess we're just sacking a shard. Yeah, Baffling End doesn't do it. Yeah, and land always comes up on the turn that it's over. Yeah, good game. That is unfortunate though. I feel like we were in a good position to take over. Maybe had this saw it coming, been an absorb, it would have been different. But I think we had to do that there. I mean, last turn, the problem is we were on 8 life and their Volcanic Brawler, where is it? Yeah, Volcanic Brawler was 4 power, which was 8 damage with the Embercleave, and they could obviously make it 5 power on attacking, so 10. So we couldn't saw it coming, the Questing Beast. We had to answer the Brawler, and it made we obviously couldn't answer the Ember Cleave as well. So yeah, well I think I don't know, there was maybe something we could have done earlier on to change the outcome of that, like cycling the cast out. So we are going first with some Azorius Control in Historic, and we're against Lois of the Dream Den, which could mean a few different things. But I think as far as opening hands go, this is okay. We really need to hit a land drop. We're in 27 lands, but as we've seen many, many times on this channel, and I'm sure you've seen in other people's as well, you could be running 35 lands and still get mana screwed. So we'll see, but we're going to keep this. This is definitely on the side of more risky. He's gone for a mulligan. Maybe we should have gone for a mulligan as well. I just like the timely reinforcements as some life gain. Okay, opponent mulligan to 6. Let's see what variant of Loris they're on. We're going to see a turn 1 Four.Vs. Oh, possibly. No, but probably like a Pyromancer. Yeah, there's the Four.Vs. So I think we just saw it coming. Doomscar. I think it's going to be more important to put the Doomscar away. So if opponent has a Four.Vs here, I think the Doomscar has more value than the saw it coming. Really need to find land drop though. Otherwise we cannot do anything. That might have been the argument to play saw it coming. Sort of foretell was a little bit of protection against discard and Croxer. Opponent's just taking a little bit to decide what they'd like to do. Gonna settle on the Fable Passage. Okay, no lands. We're going to try and cycle for a land here. Might be a little bit impatient, but I don't think we can continue to miss land drops. So unfortunately we're just having a turn where we're doing nothing. Like I said, we were a little bit on the risky side of lands, to keep a 2 land on the play, but I don't know, we got things. So our opponent goes for here. Stitcher Supplier. Okay, so we are continuing to hit land drops now. Is this a turn where we just want to time reinforcements? Opponent's going to get to fill up their graveyard quite nicely, but we don't really have an answer to that anyway. We just have to play through the Croxers. So if we tiny reinforcements, we're gaining quite a bit of life. We'll be able to block both Stitcher Suppliers. Our opponent will put 6 more cards in the graveyard. And then they get a few activations of Croxer, which means next turn I guess we could, like, Baffling End the Croxer, hold up Saw It Coming. But if our opponent plays Croxer, what are we discarding? Probably this Saw It Coming. Just go with that. Equally, we could foretell this, hold up Saw It Coming, and then we just take 2. Is that just better? I think that's just better, because if our opponent goes for the escape here, I think it's nicer to counter the Croxer first. Or they might go for Lurrus. Is Lurrus going to get any immediate value? I guess they could just play a Croxer out of the graveyard. That's it. Having 2 effectively banned cards in Modern is pretty powerful. I mean, it's arguably stronger because it's only 1 blue. Obviously, it's not counterspell, but still feels pretty strong here, being able to stop anything. And then we're not going to see that Croxer for a little bit. Obviously, we might Doomscar in a minute, so unfortunately, this is tap land. So our opponent's going to get to put a few more cards in the graveyard, but I think we're just going to Is this a time to activate cast timely reinforcements? Opponent's not casting Croxer this turn, hopefully. I think we're going to do this and not block the Stitches suppliers, and it gives us a little bit of protection against for Nico. Opponent has 6 cards in hand. So, like, I played with the cards a little bit before making the video, so I'm kind of new with a lot of them as well. And overall, I think I mentioned already, I've been like, during spoiler season, I wasn't that impressed with Nico. I thought they weren't going to be that impactful. But the more I've played with them, the more I've sort of changed my mind. I think the idea that it comes down is provides imminent card advantage. Our opponent's going to take it out of our hand. And then, say you can only do X equals 1 or 2, you do get the additional 1 with the extra -1 of the shard. Really unfortunate our opponent gets to Arcanist here and then take our Nico. It's going to be our card advantage. Are we just Doomscarring next turn? Maybe. In which case, do we just want to block and save the damage? Opponent's got nothing in their graveyard to get back. Only got Croxer. Opponents dealt quite a bit of damage to themselves. Are we countering this? Don't really want our opponent to have more cards. They're going to be going up to 6 cards. I think we just let it go. We counter the things they do with the cards. Counter the Croxer, the Luris. Probably just the Luris. Ugh. I mean, yep. Opponent will get to attack and take duress the other card out of our hand. So maybe we should have cycled the cast out first. Just in the hopes of hitting a land. I think this game's been a little bit weird with being stuck on mana for a few turns. I think has really ground us to a halt, since Nico would have certainly come out earlier. Opponents searching their graveyard. Maybe they're casting a Croxer here. So opponent's left with duress in hand, so maybe it's better just to untap Doomscar here, because they get to take this either way. If we saw it coming, the Croxer here, then they get to attack and duress the Baffling Ends. I think we just let them have the Baffling End. This way I guess we get to make a 1-1 in the end step. We get to attack in, deal a little bit of damage, then Doomscar / hold up, saw it coming. That's not so good. I guess we're just taking an additional 3. So yeah, let's just I guess let's get in our 1 damage. Another Cruxer. So yeah, opponent is in a position where they can do that. If they have a land, they could also play Lurrus slash play Cruxer, which I think it's really bad for us. Yeah, I think getting stuck a little bit. Our opponent was able to eat our hand away. We have plenty of sideboard hate for this in game 2. I think we only have the 3 pieces. I think moving into the new format, I dropped one of the... Okay, so if we counter this, our opponent's not going to be able to cast another one for a little bit. They can go land Lurrus here, but they won't be able to use Lurrus in the same turn. And they've only got a Cruxer, which is like... I guess it's like a lightning bolt each turn. I think we put that away. So if our opponent like is able to get back Cruxer here, or they go Lurrus into Cruxer just to deal us 3 damage, we can at least answer some of the board. Wait, are we just dead? No, not now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We were like 2 off lethal. I mean, we are not in a good position. I guess like represent something. Our opponent's plans probably, well, they can't Cruxer at the moment. Oh. I think we gotta scoop up to the Tibalt. Yep. Yep. Tibalt is definitely going to be really strong. That's my first time playing against it, and yeah. So we only have 2 Rest in Peace and 1 Cage, since I decided to cut down on the cages a little bit. What do we not want in this matchup, which is interesting? Aether Gust could be okay. Opponent has quite a few red permanents with Cruxer. And we're going to bring in the Aether Gusts and the Seal Away. I think we want the life gain of timely reinforcements. Maybe we like don't want Cast Out. Cast Out's just really expensive, but Baffling End and Seal Away does it as well. Baffling End at sorcery speed, but I think we're okay with that in this matchup. Maybe Behold the Multiverse as well. It's going to be a really good way to refill later in the game, though. Can't like a Nico. I still think Shark Typhoon is going to be good. Just cut Nico. Maybe cut like that. Maybe it's going to be better to have the Nico than the Behold the Multiverse. We just need to hope that Nico can provide more card advantage. I guess they will most of the time and gain us a little bit of life. And they can act as a removal spell. So let's just run it like that. Okay, so we are back on the play against Lurrus of the Dream Den. We didn't see any young Pyromancers, but one can only assume that they have them in there. So providing our opponent doesn't have a turn 1 Thoughtseize, this hand might be quite good. I think we're playing out this farmland instead of holding it. Opponent's going for the mulligan. This has been like one of the first hands we have had today that hasn't been mana screwed. No turn 1 Thoughtseize, please. No! Yeah, duress. Yeah. Ugh. That is unfortunate. One of the reasons Cage is maybe slightly better than Rest in Peace. Four.Vs and Duress are just so strong. Opponent's just ripping apart our hand. Hopefully they have more Four.Vs and Duresses that are just completely useless now. Yeah, there's the two young Pyromancers. Oh, that's going to be a good one. I don't imagine our opponent has an answer to this. I think I'd like to make a foretell list at some point. Lean more heavily on the foretell and play like Nico Defies Destiny. I think what I found in this list, it was just a little bit clunky, a little bit too cute. It was it gains us a bit of life, it gets us back cards, like it gets us back our board wipes and that, but it was too many situations where it was just doing nothing. Shard Typhoon's okay. Just, I guess we just take the one. Opponent's just going to put Lurrus into the hand, which means we're just going to make a 2-2. And I think we're going to race here instead of aim to block the Stitcher's Supplier. I'm going to play this out because every 2 lands equals an extra angel. We could just make 2 angels next turn. Opponent going for the escaped Croxar. Hopefully they don't play around Censor. Just make him pay the extra. Doesn't like affect our game plan at all. They just like allow it to be countered though, don't they? The only thing there with the Censor, maybe we could have cycled it in the hopes of hitting a land. Probably just going to unleash here. Hopefully 2 angels is enough. Opponent can't really attack in as well because they have vigilance. There are things like Claim the Firstborn, obviously. The 1 mana removal spell that could be kicked. So our opponent can certainly have answers. They might have boarded out a lot of their answers though and not playing around some of the newer cards. I think it might be a little bit strange to keep in Claim the Firstborn, but a lot of the time... Okay, they Spark Harvest. Spark Harvest was not necessarily something I envisioned coming up. So they get to replay the Stitcher Supplier. Opponent has a lot of Croxers now. Shard Typhoon's a good one. Let's see if our opponent can kill us here, because with this Shark Typhoon we do have lethal. They're gonna give it haste and maybe cast a Spark Harvest. That will keep them alive. So yeah, let's cycle this and make a 3/3. They're now in a position though where they can fame. They need to be close, careful though, because that Four.Vs is putting them quite low on life. So they get to attack here and shoot our angel down with their Spark Harvest. They can get in an attack with Lurrus as well. They don't want to trade Lurrus, okay. got to put our opponent in range. Unfortunately, we're higher on life and equal creatures, so Tiny Reinforcements doesn't do anything at the moment. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have another claim the firstborn. They get to play Stitcher's Supply to dig. But yeah, two lethal threats in there. And our opponent doesn't have a removal spell in their graveyard. If they find a Spark Harvest though, they can Spark Harvest attack, Spark Harvest. This has, putting them on 1 life though, has locked off a few things. They can't use their Shock Lands, they can't use the Four.Vs. Opponent's just thinking long and hard, I'd imagine, about what they want to do here. Because Loris has lifelink, so they can get in an attack here and put themselves to 4. So if they can answer 1 of our sharks, then they can survive an extra turn. Yeah, I think Stitcher's Supply there seems like... I don't know what their unknown cards are, but it seems like one of the best options. Digging for a claim. Since claim would also do it with Loris and lifelink. Okay, so opponent's just gonna go digging. They only have to find 1 removal spell. Why? I'm not sure why our opponent does that in combat. I guess it doesn't matter too much. I guess they're getting 1 more damage. I mean, saw it coming just solidifies that. If our opponent had something, I'm pretty sure they would have done it in our upkeep instead of after we draw. But yeah, we liked our situation there. I don't know what we've really got against what our opponent's doing. We've got our Rest in Peace and our Grafdig's Cage, but apart from that, maybe we want Narsets instead of Nikos to dig for these pieces. Since I feel like if we get our cage down, if we get our Rest in Peace, then what is our opponent doing? I think we're going to drop Nico for Narset. Okay, so we have none of our sideboard hate, and it'd be very easy for our opponent to pick this hand apart. That being said, we have 3 lands, and I don't really want to mulligan on the... I don't really want to mulligan against the Four.Vs deck, so... I'm probably going to keep this, but I don't know. Our opponent's not the fastest list in the world. They're definitely something that would rather grind us out. So having turn 2 tuck away the Doomscar. I guess if our opponent had a Four.Vs, they would have shocked us in, so that makes me feel better. So we get to put Doomscar away, play Narset, and hopefully Narset will dig us towards something good. See a Cruxer here, probably. Young Pyromancer. Probably just going to put this away, since it's a pretty good investment for a young Pyromancer. Clean up the board quite nicely. Probably just going to get rid of this Teferi. There's very little chance we'll be casting that. It's highly unlikely. Our opponent's going to definitely Four.Vs that out of our hand at some point. So, like, Narset's probably not long for this world, but unless our opponent draws a Four.Vs this turn or a Duress this turn, then Narset, then what we find off of Narset will be able to be cast. Equally, we could just hold up our interaction, maybe make a 1/1 Shark to block the young Pyromancer, and then next turn we can play Narset, and if we find a cage off of Narset, then we can play it in the same turn. If we find a Rest in Peace, then so be it. Okay, Dread Horde. I think that's fine. Our opponent's got nothing in the graveyard. It hasn't got haste. I think, yeah, just going to cycle Shark Typhoon for 1 here and trade with this Pyromancer. I know we have the Doomscar, but I think it's fine. Doomscar is going to be helpful later on. Opponent hasn't had any Stitches suppliers. So this Crocs is a bit worse, and the Pyromancer. Yeah, I wonder if we just want to Doomscar now. If our opponent has a hand hate spell here, we just feel really bad. Opponent won't be able to get Croxer back. Makes me feel a little bit worse about cycling the Shark Typhoon. Probably should have held on to that. Really need to find lands. Gonna cycle this now to try and hit a land drop. Sweet, tap land as well. It just feels like no matter how many lands you run, you just never have enough. I feel like I'm always moaning about it, but like, if it off-puts a load of people, then do leave it in the comments down below, and I will try and refrain from moaning about mana screw. I think something that naturally happens. I have really enjoyed, because mana screw is obviously something that gets to most people, I think, and mana flood, but Wizards' attempt to mitigate variance in the game, like, I do enjoy that quite a bit. Like, the foretell mechanic allows you to play cards that like split up their converted mana cost. So if you have a hand with only 2 or 3 lands but a few foretell cards, you can always still do something. You're not completely out of it. Okay, come on. Rest in peace. Sweet. So our opponent can kill Narset here, but I don't think we're too worried about that. So we're just going to put one of these away and hold up the Aether Gust, or we could do the Sora coming. And whoever knows, maybe our opponent gets cheeky and tries to just send the Arcanist at Narset, in which case we could Aether Gust it. We're literally just going to sit behind this Rest in Peace though, but unless they have the 2 mana black sorcery that destroys an enchantment, and then you lose life equal to its CMC, then it's unlikely that opponent's going to be able to do much. And I feel like if our opponent's just playing these little creatures and not utilising their graveyard, then we definitely have an edge. We need to draw some form of card advantage though. Just going to take the Luris, take some pressure away. And I feel like we should be okay now. We've got our Vantresses to help find something. So our opponent just passed straight through the turn without doing anything with their mana. That can only make one feel good about it. They didn't even sack the Fable Passage. Maybe they've got an answer to the Rest in Peace. They just don't want to do anything until they find the answer. But they haven't got card draw. Otherwise they would have killed Narset. I don't think we need backup Rest in Peace. I think we just want to close the game. And what a way to do it. This is the first time we've played Teferi. This is the first time I've cast a Teferi in 2 months? A month? Oh, it feels just as good as it used to feel. Let's go. And this is yeah, this is just where it ends, I think, here. Like, our opponent might be able to pull back, but like it doesn't seem very likely. If we untap with this Teferi, they're not pulling back. Happy to say that. Yeah, I try and be as hesitant as I can, because I've definitely said games where I can't lose before I've lost. Because we are on 4 cards to 4 cards. I mean, opponent can have a look at our hand, yeah. They take the saw it coming. But yep, we're just looking for anything here. I mean, we're going to have to discard one of these because we like make our opponent draw it again. Probably should have just discarded one and actually let it be exiled. I was just going to redraw the Croxer. Yeah, I'm going to scoop it up there. I think, yeah, not much needs to be said there. Okay, so on the draw in Historic with Azorius Control, what do you think of this hand? So Tiny Reinforcements is going to be quite good to catch us up. Got a little bit of cycle. We're not going to be able to play Nico on 3 as our Field of Ruin is hurting us a little bit. But at the very least, we have lands that are coloured. So let's keep. Like our opponent's companion, the bear. Okay, that's quite a good one as well. So do we want to foretell this on turn 2, or do we want to cycle cast out? Opponent on mono green. Mono green elves. Sweet. So board white would have been really good here. Feel like our opponent's going to be able to go off quite big next turn. I feel like Sensor's just not going to do anything though. We could just cycle Sensor, cycle cast out. I think I prefer that. I think making a single 4/4 next turn is not going to be very good. Yep. But hopefully Timely Reinforcements will buy us a little bit of time. Unable to counter anything. Really need to find board white though. Board white will just do our opponent in. I really want to take 1 more damage than what we took. So probably cycle Shark Typhoon here. We're going to be taking a little bit. We're taking 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we get to Timely Reinforcements, which is like okay, get to gain 6. I just feel like we really need to gain the 6 of the Timely Reinforcements for it to be worth it. Our opponent might be playing around Shatter. They're not going to play around Shatter. I think that's just going to be game, yep. I think even with Timely Reinforcements, all their stuff gets trampled. They'll get +X based the number of creatures they control. Yep, that's a pretty bog standard Elves list. Unfortunately, we didn't have our Doomscar return on curve that we needed it. But anyway, let's have a look. So probably want to cut these Sensors. They don't feel that good. Saw It Coming feels okay, better than Sensor, I reckon. Not much else. I guess Aether Gust is better than Sensors, and we'll cut another Saw It Coming like that. So this is a hand where we do have a Doomscars, so we're going to keep this. And we're going to see the importance of Doomscar being a turn 3 play above a turn 4. So opponent has no turn 1 elf though, so maybe we'll be waiting till turn 4 to do this. It's a good way of going wide, playing around board wipes. Opponents on Golgari Elves as well. I don't think we saw the black last game. That could mean like Four.Vs are coming. Do we just tuck another one away? I think so. Our aim could be to seal away the Elvish War Master. Yeah, I'm pretty happy I put that Doomscar away while we had the opportunity to. Yeah, probably I'm just going to Baffling End this Clan Caller. So that's the main amount of pressure that our opponent's going to be putting on us. We'll play Ardent Veil out and then just cycle this farmland. But then, like, I think we're in an okay position. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have many more War Masters and things that can, like, create a board state from, like, 1 or 2 cards. Because I think, what is it, 7 mana to give all Elves +2/+2? Most creature decks can normally beat 1 board wipe, but not many can beat 2, so we'll see. So I imagine we're going to untap board wipe here, and then we'll see if our opponent just wants to pour out the rest of their hand. What? They already have the Crater Hoof in hand, I assume. So one of these 3 cards is a Crater Hoof. We'll see if our opponent just wants to pour out a little bit. They do not. So I think we're just going to Nico for 1 and Baffling End. And then we're essentially Nicoing for 2 because we're going to tick down and make another shard. But this is the power of Nico. I think I've said it already on the video so far. Maybe I'm just repeating myself over and over again. I sometimes forget. Nico's just been really impressive. In my opinion, I've really enjoyed them. So what are we doing here? Are we just board wiping again? This is more that this is going to allow them to cast their Crater Hoof early. Let's have a look what we draw first. Yeah. And I think we're going to shock so we can crack a shard. Now I feel like we're in a good position. We're in an okay position. We're not over the moon. Like we said, we know one of these are a Crater Hoof because our opponent, I can't imagine any reason why our opponent would not go and search for it unless they wanted us to believe they had a Crater Hoof in hand. But that's like next level plays, isn't it? So yeah, plan is just to cycle Shark Typhoon here. If your opponent goes for the overextend, then we've got the Shatter. Just working out how much we can cycle this for. 5. Gonna do it now. Our opponent either takes Shatter the Sky, which is fine. Or Nico, which is like, we already have an active Nico at the moment. Or Behold the Multiverse, I guess, is just going to get some more value. How many board wipes have we gone past? We got 5 in the list after boarding, so we got 2 left. So let's sack 1 shard. Teferi's good. And yeah, I think we're just going to tick up here. No attacks. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to... Okay, I was going to full control. It sort of skipped through my phase there, even though I do have something I can do. And put this in... foretell this card. Opponent gets to finish off our Nico here, but they know we have the backup one. But yeah, the idea was to foretell there. I guess we're just going to sack the shard anyway. Opponent has more creatures and more life, yeah. Let's just lock that away. Let's tick up first. Aether Gust is good. Since Aether Gust doesn't explicitly counter something. And now I feel good. Get to untap some lands. Can make an extra token. Can behold, Aethergast, cast out, load of things we can do. So let's just behold. Shark Typhoon feels really good. Baffling End also feels good. But our opponent's got one card in hand, and we're pretty sure we know what it is. So let's just stop that. Yep. This is 7 mana to activate. Yeah, opponent's got 5. That's fine. They've got 6 with this. Kratos is 8, so that's fine. So yeah, I think we're fine. If our opponent finds a way to cast Kratos, then we have the Aethergast. If they can't, then we have a Shark Typhoon to finish our opponent off next turn. So let's just Shark Typhoon 3, 4, 5. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's just do it for 6 and leave up Aethergast. Don't know what our opponent could have. Could be like a collected company or something, but we know this is a Kratos, don't we? I assume our opponent's only running the One.Of with the ability to be able to tutor for them. Yeah. Sweet. So I don't think we saw any collected companies, though I assume our opponent's running them. I think I like where we're at. I don't really want to change anything. Yeah, this hand looks okay. We don't have any board wipes, though. I might actually mulligan this hand away. Like, 5 lands is okay, but we can't cycle this in turn 1. This is going to be a turn 3 play, in which case we're already dead. Guess we've got to keep this. Don't really want to go to 5. Just mulliganing in the hopes of hitting something better, like a board wipe or some removal spell. So I'm going to go for the 4Cs. Not as devastating as some other 4Cs is. But I might need more interaction in this hand. I don't know if this is going to be enough. Our opponent obviously has a lot of information to go, right, are they just going to slam the foot down and get some creatures on board and hope to beat us, since we need to draw a board wipe either that turn or this turn. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to play on turn 4. Just play this. This will hold our opponent back for a little bit. Depends. If our opponent plays a Lord next turn, then Nico is a lot worse. I guess, like, prepare. I think I'd rather get Behold going. I think I'm for 1 Angel, I think I'm happy to pay the 4 on turn 4. But either next turn, we're either going to be playing Nico shooting the War Master if our opponent doesn't play a Lord. They are playing Lord, though. Or Behold the Multiverse for a board wipe. And the upside of Behold the Multiverse is we now get to cycle the cast out at the same time. We do need double white, don't we? Of course we'll draw our double white. Yeah, hindsight's 2020. Maybe we should have bottomed the Hallowed Fountain. I'm not going to cycle the cast out now, because if we hit the board wipe, which is what we're aiming to hit, then our opponents yeah, it's going to be, they're just going to get to take the board wipe. So if we draw a Doomsguard this turn, this will be like the exact situation in which you'd run a Shatter the Sky above that. Opponent's got some big Lord action going on. I think we might just be dead. Like, Had a few draws to find our board wipe, did not find it, and I assumed we were going to find it on that turn. So if we make a 4/4 Angel, our opponent attacks, we take block here, take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. Just good old-fashioned dead. I assume this will be the draw of the board wipe, though. No. Okay. Yeah, good game. Not much we can do there. We didn't find our board wipe, and we had, like, no interaction, I think. I think our only interaction was cast out, which was disappointing, but I think it's going to happen sometimes. Like, we had Shark Typhoon. We have Shark Typhoon? Cycled that, but taken away from us. Yeah, we had originally, I think, a 5-land hand where we just had 2 spells later on. But we run, like, a Seal Away, 3 Baffling Ends, 5 board wipes. So there's plenty of stuff we could have drawn. It's just sometimes the cards are dealt in a certain way, and that's the way things end up going. But yeah, let's go on. Okay, so we are back on the play in Historic with Azorius Control, and this is a mulligan. Forever with them dodgy land hands. We're going to keep this, though. I feel like more than 50% of the time you have a bad land situation. Maybe I'm just forever salty about it. I feel like the longer I've played Magic, the less it affects me, though. I think when I first started playing Magic, when you first start playing Magic, you're not bothered because you're still learning. It's like, okay, well, Mana Screw and Mana Flood is a thing. But you go through a phase, I think, or I went through a phase of the middle of playing Magic, that you get really frustrated when you're trying to do the best you can, and being Mana Screw and Mana Flood. It's really annoying. I think as time progresses and you play Magic more and more, you just realise it is the way it is. There's so many games of Magic, I think, that are determined, that aren't determined through skill. Or, like, very, very little skill. They're just, these are the cards I was dealt, these are the cards you were dealt, we played them out in the manner in which we played them out, and that's the, this is the outcome of the game. That's just how that works sometimes. What do we want to do, by the way? Just thinking, our opponent's on Gruul, but they're playing a Florahedron, so I don't know what to think of that. Maybe we just want to prepare for the worst and get our board wipe. That could have been a Behold the Multiverse turn, but if our opponent goes like 2 2-drops here, or a 2-drop and a 1-drop, or 3 1-drops, for example, we're going to want a way to reset the board. Our opponent's attacking with their Hedron. Sure. I think we're just going to Baffling End that. And then we can just Behold. Our opponent might be predicting that one of these are a board wipe, and obviously they would be quite correct with that assumption. Right, let's go. Let's have a look. I don't think we want any of them. Have Avantras and Arden Veils already. Hey, it makes me feel a little bit safer having a counterspell. See if our opponent goes for a Questing Beast or some big scary Planeswalker. Yeah, it's been relatively strange that our opponents played the Tangled Florahedron. I'm slipping on my words today. Oh, we can't stop this, unfortunately. Do we just take our beating and then Doomscar and hold up Saw It Coming next turn? Yeah. I feel like our opponent could have worse. Unfortunately, we can't censor it, so we're just going to cycle the censor. Are we cycling censor, or do we rather activate Castle Branches? I think we'd rather activate this. And I think both of these are excellent draws. So, yeah, let's just Doomscar. And then we'll hold up Censor / Saw It Coming. Might cycle the Censor if we want to. But no. When your opponent game 2 and 3 will play around Censor now. Sometimes you just have to remind them that Censor's a card. Maybe I haven't been a part of the meta for a Well, since the drop of the new set, so I don't know what it's looking like at the moment. I think we're going to cast out this. Rather just hold up our counterspell. For something that provides our opponent with immediate card advantage. So, are we on the Activate Castle Vantress or Ardenvale plan, or are we just cycling Shark Typhoon here? So this is going to allow our opponent to get back the Elder Gargroth, so probably no to that. Do we just want to cycle Shark Typhoon for 2? I feel like you could do so much better than that. Like, cycling it for 3, which is what we're going to do. We're definitely going to cycle it for 3 this turn, I think. See what our opponent's got. I guess we could just activate one of our castles. Depends if our opponent like nudges us towards board wiping. Because I want to close the game quite quickly when we cast these sharks. I wonder if we should just do it for 3 and just start putting the pressure on. But let's have some card selection. Like cast out's okay. So we could do Shark Typhoon for 5 here. So let our opponent attack us for 1. Opponent's going to Ember Cleave, so we could be taking 4 here. Have we gone past the block stage? I think we have. So do we just cast out the Ember Cleave? Could cast out the Florahedron, but we would rather have an answer to the Ember Cleave at some point. Yeah, unfortunately we went past the block stage. Nico's good. And yeah, let's just kill the creature. No reason to allow it when Ember Cleave is a real thing. Opponent could have like a questing beast here, we'll see. Feel a bit safer with the Doomscar, but I'd like a counterspell at some point. Sweet. Now we just get to sit back, crack our shards, use our castles, Shark Typhoon. Do we care about Scavenging Ooze? We don't really care about Scavenging Ooze. Not that we could stop it if we wanted to. So now I think we're going to start putting the pressure on. Yeah, just take out the Scavenging Ooze. I think when you're playing against Gruul and your opponent definitely has Ember Cleaves in their list, which we've seen obviously, you don't want to be allowing them to have like any creature on the board really. Yep. Could have like tried to find a counterspell in response to the Bone Crusher Giant, but I think this is fine. So this is a gain 6 at the moment. In very few situations are you going to pass up a Teferi, especially at this point in the game. So we'll just Shark Typhooning here, yeah. So we can Shark Typhoon for 7. So our opponent will get for a bit of damage if they have an Ember Cleave, but we get to kill the Bone Crusher Giant and then tuck the Ember Cleave. So, Gruul. I think we got our usual plan. I think we played against Gruul earlier. We got our Aether Gusts, our Seal Away, our Shatter the Sky. And I don't think we want any of these, but we have got to cut some cards. What we'd like to cut. Nico feels like going to be maybe a little bit too slow. And Sensors. Our opponent's going to be playing around Sensor now, but there's it's got 2 Sensors. We have loads of interaction early on. Okay, so against Gruul, Aggro / mid-range / Elgar Gargroth, Glorybringer, which we haven't seen in a while. What do we think about this hand? We get to turn 2 Baffling End, turn 3 Saw It Coming. Cycle. Maybe, I think this is good enough to keep, though like not overall that powerful. Really like to find one of our board wipes. Maybe we should have mulligan for that. And this is going to be a game in this situation when you don't have a lightning bolt or a 1 mana removal spell. We're using our Baffling End to answer what our opponent plays from the Llanowar Elves instead of the actual Llanowar Elves. So the thing about Gruul, like, we can 1-for-1 their answers. This is more relevant on the draw, but we can 1-for-1 their answers, but they all have haste and they all deal you a bit of damage. Before you know it, you're at 8 or 9 life and you're dead to an Embercleave. Okay, so our opponent's missing land drops. So we get to Saw It Coming and then cast out. There's actually nothing. Oh, I think this is the first time this has ever happened. This is the first time I've ever come across this, so there's nothing in the graveyard to eat with Klothys. Yeah, that's fine. Just cycle a Shark Type in for 1 since our opponent's stuck on mana. Just use our mana while we can. We'd really like to find a board wipe. Okay, our opponent's not necessarily that stuck on mana. I think we're still holding up Saw It Coming. We'll take our 2 this time. This is another demonstration of when Absorb might be better. Ideally, we're going to cast out this Klothys. I guess we're casting out that instead then, since it cannot be countered. Yeah, shifting Ceratops is a good one. We're just flooding a little bit though. Need some of them double face cards maybe in here. There's only so much value you can put in your mana base. I don't want to be like bolting ourselves all the time. The opportunity cost is low, but like we have Shocklands, we have Field of Ruin. Gotta try and protect our life total the best we can. We'll see. So we're taking like 3 a turn at the moment. This is at the beginning of a pre-combat main phase. I guess we take the 2 for 1 more turn in case our opponent has something relevant. But we can always Aether Gust if they put on top. We can shuffle it away. And then just activate Field of Ruin. Opponent has 2 red sources. I go get another red source. What do we want? I don't think it matters for us too much. We are flooding quite bad. I feel like 1 or 2 lands off the top and it's over. We need Teferi, we need Nico, a Shark Typhoon would be quite good. We're in a position at the moment, I don't know what our opponent's got here, if they just pass the turn. Okay. So we can take our 2 and then we can take our 4, but I think we're just going to stop this. Since we're going to need to stop the creature, we can't hope for a Baffling End or removal spell. I mean, we can hope for them, but feel like it's just better just to save the damage or buy us more time overall. Yep. So next turn we're going to be able to 1, 2, 3 angels. So we can create 4. Okay, so we got a game plan. Let's go. 4 angel, 4, 4, 4 vigilance flyers. Our opponent had nothing last turn, so unless they drew something this turn. I really feel like I want a second one of these. But like most times we've had it, it's been really good. We're hoping not for like a questing beast here. Oh, Elder Gargroth's really bad as well. Like just exclusively like removal spell here. I mean, yep. It's like a removal spell. We can't really attack though, unfortunately. And this has vigilance, yeah. So we're going to be double blocking this Elder Gargroth. Gonna hope the opponent doesn't have an Ember Cleave. I guess we can just stack all of the angels. I like believe we're favoured as time goes on. Since I guess we get to cycle the Shark Typhoon belt, I think our deck is designed to be able to go long. So if these angels are going to hold the board for a while, then I think that's okay. Just going to cycle the Shark Typhoon, and here comes the math again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I should probably do it in my head. As a listener, it's probably quite annoying to listen to me count. Okay, I feel a bit safer with that, but let's get in for 8. Maybe it's worth not foretelling some of these because it gives your opponent a little bit more information as to what you're doing. I feel like I don't want to give up this angel. Maybe we're planning on doing the yeah, they can. It gives them the ability to be able to double block our shark. At the moment, they're in a position where they either have to chump block, which they don't want to do, or they're attacking into our wall of angels. We're gonna take it for one more turn, and I guess we'll hold that. Unfortunately, we don't have a single castle. Something to do. So our opponent's got 2 cards in hand. I mean, they got to get through a lot. We're definitely not in the clear, but wait, did we have lethal last turn? If we attacked for everything, they blocked. So they block an angel, they gain 3 life and go to. I don't know. Did we miss that? They would be on 15. They'd be on 18, and they would take 4, 8, 12, 8. Yeah, I think we missed out on lethal last turn. I guess they could have blocked the shark. Okay, that's fine. Sweet. Good game, opponent. I definitely feel like we want an extra one of these angels. Howdy guys, cheers for making it to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching some Azorius Control in Historic. What did we think of the new cards? I am no expert and I am just a humble Magic player that plays the cards and enjoys playing them, but I really, really enjoyed them. I think it would take a better Magic player than me to determine where these cards fit and the number of these cards, but hopefully maybe some people who are watching this video can give me some advice on that. Drop it down in the comments below what you think, maybe different changes and that. I feel like maybe we want Absorb Absorb instead of Saw It Coming. I feel like when we were on the Nico Defies Destiny plan, Saw It Coming was worth it, but I feel like Absorb might just be better. Like, the 2-mana counterspell is good, but like the life gain is life gain, and we can kind of take out the timely reinforcements, making slot for something else. Doomscar was absolutely outstanding. We kind of thought this going into it though, and Doomscar, yeah, just absolutely overperformed. Our curve should be more like this. But yeah, Doomscar was just outstanding. Yeah, brilliant. Teferi, I felt like, yeah, dropping the numbers was fine. I felt like I wanted him more than I found him. So maybe it, like, Saw It Coming gets changed for Absorb. Timely reinforcements come out. We go up to 3 Teferis and maybe go up on a Starn Helm as well. Since I feel like I really like this card. I don't know how good this card actually is, but I feel like, I don't know, I really enjoy this. I think making a board out of nowhere is exactly what I want to do. And what do we think of Behold the Multiverse as a card? Yeah, it's okay. I felt like it was good. I didn't feel like it was anything special or outstanding, but maybe it's what the deck needs for a bit more consistency. Maybe we need to go up to a 3rd copy of that. I don't know. Let me know what you think. And Nico Aris, what did we think of the new Planeswalker? I think they sat exactly where I thought they were going to sit, personally. I felt like really good Planeswalker, but not broken. I don't think they are broken by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they are really powerful. So, yeah, I think Nico is something that you're going to see moving forward, especially with my lists. I'd really like to make a Nico, Narset, Teferi, and Chandra list as well. Maybe a control list where we can utilize all of them cards together. Could be really fun. So we will see how that gets on. And also, going and talking about Jeskai real quick, Chandra's +1 to make red mana as well could help us get our Foretell cards out. They pay for that in itself, so maybe we don't need to just exile a card willy-nilly off the top of our deck sometimes. When for example, you play Chandra on turn 4, you could play Chandra, tick up, and then Foretell a card. I don't know, maybe it's a thought for a future video. But I hope you guys enjoyed the list. Please do let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Did you like the list? Did you not like the list? What changes do you think you should make? Mistakes I've made. Like I said, I don't think I said, but like, it's going to be a heavy mistake level video because I'm jumping back in after a bit of time out. And if you guys do want to see any un-Magic related content, maybe you want to see some WoW from a new player perspective, or some Total War Warhammer 2 from a new player perspective, then let me know in the comments down below. Just stuff to suggest. Don't know if Magic's all I want to do, but I do enjoy doing Magic, so let me know what you guys think. But I am just rambling on and on now, guys. I hope you guys seriously had a really nice day and you enjoyed the video to some extent, and I could bring some good vibes. So yeah, I'm going to shut up now. Have a good one, and I will see you later.